Dolly the little snail and Dolly the ladybird play with their forest friends in their happy little world. Dolly the ladybird and Berry the little snail, always fun games to play, always a brand new tale. Berry and Dolly say, what will we learn today?
The rainbow. It was a rainy summer day. Dolly the ladybird and Berry the snail sat sadly underneath a giant leaf. Then the sun came out and the sky was blue again. But the shower didn't stop, and soon a colourful rainbow stretched across the sky. "It's beautiful!" they shouted. Berry thought it would be a good idea to climb up the rainbow and slide down on the other side. But his first try didn't work. "I think I'll try from the other side," he said. "Trust me, you can't climb a rainbow," Dolly said to the excited snail. But then Berry came up with a new plan. "I'll use a ladder." "Oh, Berry, I don't think it's a good idea," Dolly said anxiously. Dolly was right, and Berry was angry. Dolly tried to distract her friend. "Come and play something else." But Berry still didn't give up. "Look, Dolly, I'm sure I can jump on top of it from here." But that idea didn't work either. Dolly ran over to Berry. "Are you all right?" "I'm fine," Berry sulked. Berry was very sad, and Dolly tried everything to cheer him up. "I got you some flowers," she said kindly, but Berry couldn't be comforted. Then the rain dried up and the rainbow disappeared. They walked home hand in hand, and Dolly said nice things to the little snail. "Chin up, Berry. It's your birthday the day after tomorrow, and I'm sure you'll get some super presents." Dolly had a great idea when she got home. "I'll make a rainbow slide for Berry's birthday," she said to herself. "Then his dream can come true and he can slide down a rainbow." Balthazar the bee and Flutter the butterfly helped her. Balthazar, Dolly and Flutter painted the slide with colourful paint, wrapped it in yellow paper and tied it up with a blue ribbon. The three friends even baked a cake for Berry. When the time came, Balthazar and Flutter took Berry to Dolly's house, where everything was ready for the birthday party.
"Let's give him his presents,"
yelled Balthazar, and Dolly gave Berry the chocolate cake. "A real rainbow! A rainbow slide! Can I try the slide?" "Sure you can," Dolly replied. Berry liked the rainbow slide very much. He slid on it again and again. Flutter and Balthazar were so happy they started to dance. "You know, Dolly," said Berry, "it really is a nice present. Thank you." Lots of friends joined in the birthday celebrations. There was Leapy the grasshopper, Eddie the potato beetle, Zephyr the dragonfly, and even Stanley the stag beetle came. The little snail let everybody try his new slide. Berry, Dolly, and their friends played on the slide until it got dark. Berry went to bed very happy that day. "What a wonderful birthday I've had," he sighed with a smile.
Berry and Dolly say, what will we learn today?
The Water Snail. Berry, Dolly, Flutter and Balthazar were sitting around in the meadow. I wish I had a cousin too, a distant snail relative, Berry sighed. But you've got a sort of cousin, Berry. The water snail is a kind of snail, Flutter the butterfly said. Really? Berry jumped to his feet with a grin. Where does this water snail live?
Nowhere. I don't think there's such a thing as a water snail.
Oh, yes, there is. I know where he lives. He's got a little house deep down in the round pond on the other side of the forest.
You're talking nonsense,
the bee said. Why don't we go down to the round pond to see for ourselves? Come with me. I'll take you, Hedgehog Harry told his friends. We can be there before it gets dark. Hooray! Berry whooped. I'll bring the air tank so we can swim down to the bottom of the pond. Berry, Dolly, Flutter and Balthazar hopped into the hedgehog cart and set out for the round pond. It was late in the evening by the time they finally caught sight of the pond.
The cart's running away!
The little bee shouted, but it was already too late. The hedgehog cart rolled right into the water. It's too late to do anything today. Let's go to bed, and tomorrow you can all swim down to the bottom of the pond. I'm sure you'll find the cart, Harry comforted them. Berry woke up bright and early the next morning. Look, the water lily has opened its petals and there's someone standing on its leaf and he's waving at us. Who are you? Hello, everybody. My name's Sam Snail and I live deep down at the bottom of the round pond. See, Balthazar, water snails do exist after all. I've got my own proper cousin now. Sam Snail didn't understand why Berry was so happy to see him. But then Dolly told him why they had come. I'm so happy to meet you, Cousin Berry, the water snail said. Would you help us find our cart that rolled into the water, Sam? Flutter asked. I'd be delighted. Follow me, the water snail said. So the four friends slipped into their swimming costumes and swam all the way down to the bottom of the pond. This is where I live, Sam Snail announced with pride. They heard a frightening hissing sound that scared Berry, Dolly, Flutter and Balthazar, who hid behind the house. Don't be scared. It's my friend the Water Snake. Water Snake, have you seen a cart at the bottom of the pond by any chance? Hang on to me and I'll take you there. There it is, the Water Snake hissed. Berry, Dolly, Balthazar and Flutter were happy they'd found it. You did it, said Harry. He was so happy to see his little friends again. Let's go for a trip on the pond, Sam Snail suggested. They all sat on the lily pad and Sam Snail started rowing. It's time we were going, Dolly said when it began to get dark. Oh, let's stay a little longer, Berry pleaded. We'll come again another day, Flutter reassured the little snail. Harry Hedgehog was already waiting for them. Berry, Dolly, Flutter and Balthazar all said goodbye to Sam Snail and headed for home. The next day, Berry and Dolly both painted colourful pictures of their distant cousins.
Berry and Dolly say, what will we learn today? Sunflowers. Berry and Dolly planted sunflower seeds in the spring and watered the seeds until little shoots soon appeared. The shoots grew into little plants that grew into big plants. Then buds appeared that opened into lovely yellow flowers in the summer.
Hooray! the friends cheered when they saw the lovely flowers. Berry noticed that the flowers pointed one way in the morning and another in the afternoon.
Look, Dolly, they're turning their heads.
That's because they always turn to face the sun. That's why they're called sunflowers. When the sun went down, the sunflowers hung their heads and went to sleep. All the forest friends were woken the next morning by shouts of panic. "Oh dear, what's happened? Our lovely sunflowers!" Dolly cried.
Who could have done such a terrible thing?
Berry wept.
Someone has chewed through the stems of our sunflowers.
Flutter washed their wounds with fresh dew, and Dolly bandaged them all with soft blades of grass. The sunflowers slowly started to smile again. The friends all gathered in Balthazar's house to decide what to do next.
What are we going to do?
Berry sobbed. "Someone needs to stand guard at night. I'll go first," said Dolly bravely. The little ladybird hid quietly behind the bush and kept a close eye on the sunflowers. She didn't have to wait for very long. A hamster soon appeared and started to chew at the stems of the sunflowers. Dolly jumped out from her hiding place and shouted, "Shoo!" This surprised the hamster and he ran away. He didn't come back again that night. Flutter guarded the sunflowers the next night, and then Balthazar, and then Stanley. Soon it was Berry's turn. The little snail hid quietly behind the bush and waited. He waited and waited until he eventually fell asleep. He wasn't even woken by the sound of the hamster chewing at the sunflower stems.
Oh dear, I must have fallen asleep. I didn't guard the sunflowers.
Berry sobbed when he saw the sadly sagging sunflowers the following morning.
Berry fell asleep. He slept while the hamster chewed the stems again.
"Why do you all look so sad?" asked Dr. Owl. Dolly told him what had happened to the sunflowers. "I think you should talk to the hamster. Ask him not to hurt the sunflowers," Dr. Owl suggested.
There he is. He's asleep in the bush,
Berry whispered to the others. The noise woke the sleeping hamster. The hamster looked scared of the friends and the friends felt frightened of the hamster. "There's no need to be scared of us. We just wanted to ask you not to chew our sunflowers."
But then what will I eat?
The hamster told them.
We'll bring you plenty of apples and carrots to nibble on. Where do you live?
The little snail asked.
I haven't got a house of my own,
The hamster said sadly.
You haven't got a house?
Balthazar repeated in surprise.
Then we'll build you one.
Dolly brought apples, Berry brought seeds, Flutter brought raisins, Balthazar brought dandelion leaves, and Stanley brought carrots.
My new house is really super,
The hamster said with a cheery smile.
and thank you so much for all the yummy food.
The hamster never chewed the sunflower stems again, and they smiled happily at Berry and Dolly and all their friends for the rest of the summer.